Hi and good evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Shakil 5858. I am Amibuddham. Now the latest headlines from world channels and news agencies.
Purported leak.
Tonight, President Trump's immigration crackdown, the raids across the country. Tonight, the images from across the nation, from Chicago to Denver to Miami. Undocumented immigrants loaded onto military planes as well. President Trump and the President of Colombia both threatening tariffs for a time over flights headed to Colombia. And tonight, what's now coming next? What ICE officials told our Rachel Scott. Also tonight, President Trump expected to sign new executive actions involving the U.S. military. And the new Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon, and he's asked, will he fire America's top general as he suggested before? How he answered with the general right there. We're tracking a powerful cross-country storm tonight after rain in California, now hail and damaging winds coming to Texas, and then the storms hitting the east. Ginger Z with the forecast. Tonight, the sudden turmoil in the stock market after that news from China today. Is China ahead of the U.S. on artificial intelligence? Costing less, fewer chips, less energy. Tonight, the U.S. company NVIDIA suffering the largest single-day drop ever. Here in the U.S., an earthquake rattling parts of the Northeast, and you'll see the images tonight. Also, the rare strain of bird flu now discovered here in the country where it's been detected, with egg prices already skyrocketing. Tonight, 5 years after we went back to Auschwitz, the survivors, now fewer and fewer of them, and what they told us tonight. And the Super Bowl is now set. The Chiefs, the Eagles, and getting ready already. The images tonight you likely haven't seen.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Taylor.
Tonight, ICE out in force in major U.S. cities. President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration ramping up. Our senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez in Chicago with agents as an operation is underway. Plus, the president's showdown with Colombia over deportations. The new firings at the Department of Justice. Multiple officials who helped prosecute Donald Trump dismissed. Plus, the president's expected executive orders impacting the U.S. military. DeepSeek causing deep concern. China's new artificial intelligence app putting U.S. tech companies on notice and raising new concerns about security for Americans using it. The emotional reunions. 4 female Israeli soldiers freed by Hamas. The American hostage who could see freedom soon. And today the Palestinians returning to northern Gaza for the first time in more than a year. The scare in the air while this flight plunged 185 feet, injuring dozens of people on board. But United Airlines is saying, is it working? The new details about New York City's congestion pricing, drivers cringing at the cost, but is it going so well other major cities could soon join in? And the good news tonight for fans of women's soccer, a major milestone for an American superstar.
This is NBC Nightly News. From CBS News Head.
It was an earthquake today in the world of artificial intelligence. Good evening, I'm John Dickerson.
I'm Maurice Dubois, and the aftershocks were felt from Washington to Wall Street and Silicon Valley. Signs that China may be catching up to the United States in the AI race sent tech stocks plunging.
A Chinese startup called DeepSeek has created an AI model at a much lower cost than the U.S. competition. Its AI assistant was today Apple's most downloaded app, surpassing the AI app ChatGPT and Threads, a social media app.
California-based NVIDIA, which makes the chips that power AI, lost nearly $600 billion in market value, the biggest one-day loss by a company ever. AI will be a growing part of our lives in medicine, transportation, education, and beyond.
It's being called a Sputnik moment for America's AI industry. That's a reference to the panic in the U.S. when the Soviets leaped ahead in the space race in the 1950s. So Margaret Brennan joins us from Washington. Margaret, Sputnik moment, or is that a little overhyped?
Well, it could be a Sputnik moment or a shot across the bow.
And welcome to Hannity this Monday night. We start with a Fox News alert. We are awaiting President Trump's arrival at Joint Base Andrews. We'll take you there live as it happens. It is now week 2 of the Trump administration, but it would kind of take me the entire monologue and maybe the whole show to list everything that the 47th president has accomplished over the past 7 days. Coming up, we're going to show you how Trump is cracking down on woke insanity in our Department of Defense, plus full highlights from Vice President J.D. Vance's schooling, the smug legacy state-run media mob, in this case, left-wing CBS host Margaret Brennan. But first, we turn to an issue that most Americans actually agree on. That is immigration. That is law and order at our border and border security. According to a new Axios poll, a whopping 2/3 of you, the American people, want illegal immigrants deported. Donald Trump made this a central part of his campaign, and now, as president, he is keeping his promise to you, the American people. Take a look.
So many people came across the border and nobody has any idea. I used to say like 325, but we really don't know. But we're going to know soon. We're going to know. And I tell you, our people are doing it. Tom Holman and his staff are doing an incredible job getting the bad ones out. And today in Tijuana, you probably saw I got a call from Tom Holman and some of the people. They said, sir, it's unbelievable. There is nobody. You have this huge area. It's a gathering area. It's always been packed with these people. What they did to our country is so unbelievable. That they could do this to our country is so horrible. But he said there's nobody there. You saw yesterday we've made it clear to every country that they will be taking back our people that we're sending out, the criminals, the illegal aliens coming from their countries. We're taking them back, and they're going to take them back fast. And if they don't, they'll pay a very high economic price, and we're going to immediately install massive tariffs. It'll be placed on them and other sanctions.
On this Monday night, relief and reunions in northern Gaza. Finally allowed to go home, the devastation hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are facing. Haunting memories of the horrors of Auschwitz.
Every day became worse than the day before.
80 years later, the warning from survivors about history repeating itself. America's hefty tariffs on Canadian goods could start this weekend. The last-minute talks to thwart them or figure out a plan B. Plus, deep seek and destroy. The Chinese AI company upending the markets.
Global National with Donna Friesen.
On ABC TV. Today, the fire threat in Victoria's far west eases as crews work to contain multiple blazes.
Those fires in the southern part of the Grampians will progress and eventually meet up with those fires in the northern parts of the Grampians.
As a heatwave sweeps across the country, North Queensland braces for wild weather ahead of a possible cyclone. Victorian underworld figure shot dead on a busy street in Melbourne's north. China's DeepSeek AI model sparks $1 trillion sell-off, tanking US markets. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Ros Childs.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Tuesday morning. The headline today, two-tier police as right.
Well, a leaked Home Office review labels public concerns nothing more than an extreme narrative.
They even recommend that can record more hate crime incidents.
We've got to be honest and realistic and not allow political correctness to get in the way.
of seek AI call for our industries that we need to be laser focused, competing.
And we visit the schools of first class education. You've got to pay for it.
Speak this way, so children who have a body of knowledge to draw on can think for themselves.
Bye-bye to your bins, as one council considers reducing collections to once a month.
Until the transfer window closes, what will become of Marcus Rashford? And the festival could be. There's a shortage of Guinness.
We have strong winds in the south today and the risk of some heavy thundery downpours too. I'll have more details coming up.
Hello there, very good to see you. I'm Eamon Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costa, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Yaina Lee, one of the 200 France 24 correspondents around the world.
Site and on all our social media platforms.
Yaina Lee, one of the 200 France 24 correspondents around the world.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you. You're watching Daybreak here on France 24. These are the headlines. China takes the lead in artificial intelligence race, the tool DeepSeek outselling US-made alternatives. It is said to be made with cheaper chips and uses less data too, prompting concerns among American tech companies. Trying to flee the regional capital of Goma, the United Nations says thousands of people are running away as fighting across the city intensifies. M23 rebels surrounded it on Monday, marking a sharp escalation in the conflict there. And happy to return home even if most of the buildings have been flattened. Thousands of Palestinians allowed back to northern Gaza as Israel lifts a blockade it put in place well over a year ago. Good to have you with us. Well, also coming up, trouble underwater. Sweden intercepts a Bulgarian ship after a fibre optic cable under the Baltic Sea was damaged. Countries around the Baltic Sea have been looking to increase underwater security in recent months due to cable damage, which many blame on Russia.
Good morning, it's 6 o'clock. On today's show, an exclusive interview with Iran's foreign minister.
Plus, it looks like build, baby, build is the message from Chancellor Rachel Reeves. She tells MPs she wants to go further and faster in pursuit of growth.
And Mum's gone to Iceland, but who's on the checkout? We'll discuss plans to sentence lawless criminals to work in supermarkets. But more on that to come on Tuesday, the 28th of January. Iran's foreign minister issues a stark warning to Israel.
Any attack to our nuclear facilities would be faced with an immediate and decisive response.
China's great leap forward in AI wipes $1 trillion off the world's biggest tech companies. Disgraced referee David Coote opens up on his drug use and lifelong battle to hide his sexuality.
Hi, I'm Keith. And I'm Ronan. So we're boys now.
After 30 years, I think now is the time to talk about it.
And a new documentary about Boyzone premieres in London, promising the truth about their split, no matter what. Very good morning to you. Iran's foreign minister.
This is Asia Now.
Hello, it's 2 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 11:30 in New Delhi, 1 o'clock in Jakarta, and Angela Lin at this hour. Chinese AI startup DeepSeek changing the rules of AI. The new app shot to fame in a matter of days, prompting a market frenzy. Big tech stocks taking some of the heaviest losses. A sign of strengthening ties between China and India. Both sides have not only agreed to resume direct flights and deepen cooperation on cross-border rivers, but also facilitate the exchange of journalists. Plus,
together as one united people, we can keep Singapore a beacon of safety, security, and stability amidst a troubled and volatile world.
Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong rallies the nation and vows commitment to helping families at every stage of life. It's his first Chinese New Year message since taking office.
Footage filmed late on Sunday shows flashes of light in the night sky and the sound of gunfire near the city of Goma. As heavy fighting continues in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda-backed rebels early on Monday claimed to have captured the regional capital. Their statement came minutes before a 48-hour deadline expired that had been imposed by the group for the Congolese army to surrender their weapons. The United Nations described mass panic among the city's 2 million inhabitants. Rebels urged residents of Goma to remain calm and for members of the Congolese military to assemble at the central stadium. Congo's government says the rebels' advance amounts to a declaration of war.
Tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians have begun to return home to northern Gaza on Monday, in accordance with the terms of a fragile ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. They try to find solace in their community centers and churches. In Springfield, in the US state of Ohio, the Haitian community has been living in worry since the new Trump administration took office and started cracking down on immigration.
Intimidated, panicking for the folks in the community, because we are living a very uncertain time for now.
An estimated 12 to 15,000 Haitians live in the Ohio town. Many have fled the gang violence in Haiti and can stay in the US legally thanks to the Temporary Protected Status program. But it is set to expire early in 2026.
I've got a lot of calls. A lot of people are asking me, should we leave Ohio? Should we go elsewhere, or should we come outside the house at all? What should we expect? Is there any word about ICE being in Ohio? Kind of calls, but I always have the same answer. I tell everybody to stay calm, remain, calm, wait for further instruction.
In the Haitian community, the scenario of deportation has become an ever-present worry. During his campaign last year, President Trump also falsely accused Haitian immigrants in Springfield of eating their neighbors' pet cats and dogs. Faced with an uncertain future and fears of anti-immigrant sentiment, many are now turning to their faith.
I just ask God, hey, protect your
More than 300,000 Palestinians returned to northern Gaza, but aid groups say the humanitarian needs there are overwhelming. Hello and welcome to TRT World's Live from Istanbul. I'm Efnan Han, also ahead on the program. An Israeli military raid continues into its 8th day in the occupied West Bank, with troops launching new attacks on Tulkarem. Thousands flee fighting as rebels capture the key city of Goma in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. And America's roundup of migrants accelerates. More than 1,000 arrests in a single day as Donald Trump signs more executive orders.
Thank you for sparing your precious time. This is Amir Shakil. Have a good life. Bye-bye.